Our headlines today: 10 days before schools in England are due to reopen, nearly half of all councils tell Breakfast they can't guarantee children will go back to the classroom.
Spot checks and fines of up to £1,000. How a 14-day quarantine will work for visitors to the UK.
A tribute to the victims of coronavirus. An online book of remembrance is set up.
Good morning. Our high streets will never be the same again. Ahead of a predicted collapse in sales, the former Dragon and retail boss Thea Pafitis tells the BBC the government must step in to save our shops.
Retail will never, ever be the same again. If they don't change, what you're going to see is empty stalls. It's very simple. This is like playground economics. It's not complicated.
And in sport, promotion and relegation will still happen in the 3 divisions below the Premier League. That's even if the season ends prematurely.
An online book of remembrance to commemorate those who've died from coronavirus has been organised by St Paul's Cathedral. Family members, friends and carers of anyone who has died can submit a name, photograph and a short message to pay tribute to their loved ones. The memorial book, called Remember Me, has received the support of the Prince of Wales, who said the outbreak had brought tragedy and heartbreak for too many.
Police have found a body in the search for a 16-year-old girl who went missing almost 2 weeks ago. Louise Smith was last seen on VE Day in Havant in Hampshire. Search and rescue teams have been scouring country parks and woodland nearby. Formal identification has yet to take place, but Louise's family have been informed. Police say they're treating the death as suspicious.
Ahead of the bank holiday weekend, visitors are being warned to follow the lockdown measures after thousands of people flocked to beaches across England this week to enjoy the hot weather. Police in Newquay tweeted that tourists had stayed overnight in camper vans, which is against the current legislation. Meanwhile, in Bournemouth, the council urged people to go home if the beach looked too busy. The Daily Telegraph is saying that MPs will be asked to back new quarantine measures for all international arrivals, and that will give police the power to carry out spot checks at home and impose £1,000 fines.
Let's have a look at The Guardian. The claims that pressure from within his own party led Boris Johnson to make the first U-turn of his leadership and scrap the fees that migrant health workers must pay to use the NHS.
The Daily Mail has details of the trial of a new 20-minute swab test to check who has had coronavirus. The paper says it could be rolled out nationally within 6 weeks if it's deemed to be effective.
And on BBC News Online this morning, there's an appeal from celebrities, including baker Nadia Hussain, Citizen Khan creator Adil Ray, who are urging those marking Eid this weekend to follow social distancing guidelines by staying at home and celebrating with family online instead. 68 councils in England have told BBC Breakfast they can't guarantee primary schools will open to all reception Year 1 and Year 6 pupils on June the 1st.
The government will today publish the scientific evidence behind its decision for a phased return to schools in England. Teachers and parents have expressed concerns about safety in the classroom for larger numbers of pupils. Well, the Department for Education says the decision is based on the best scientific and medical advice.
Plans to quarantine travellers from overseas to try and prevent a second outbreak of Covid-19 in the UK are expected to be outlined by the Home Secretary later today. Possible measures could include spot checks and fines of £1,000 if visitors fail to self-isolate for 14 days. Ministers say quarantine measures are more important now that infections have reduced among UK residents.